Hello guys, can you hear me? Can someone please confirm if you guys can hear me? Let me also check if tablet is working finally or not. Okay, nice, you can hear me. Wow. Sorry for starting this contest solution discussion late. Yeah, and I see that one of you have asked that who's gonna do the stream. In the thumbnail you can see that who the stream is gonna be with. Yeah, today the stream is with me. Yesterday it was with Yan. Yeah. How was today's contest for you? Very easy? Nice. Nice. Good. How many problems you guys have solved? Let me in the meantime bring the... Okay. 4, 3, 3, 1, 2, 0, 5, 3, 1, 3, 3. I see. Nice. Nice. So you guys have solved many problems today. That's nice. Okay. So now if you want, we can start talking about the problems. Are you guys ready for it? Shall we start? Let's start with problem A. Yeah, I think I will cover all of them. We will move on to see what happens. About G, I haven't read G right now, but for the rest of them, I've read them and I have solution for them. But if you want, I can talk about G as well. We will discuss the solution of that one as well in this stream. Okay, nice. So let's start talking about the problems now. Let's start with problem 1, problem A, quintomania. Okay, this problem says that you have Boris Notkin composes melodies and you have some array of these melodies, and you say that it is good if and only if the absolute difference between each two consecutive one is either 5 or 7. The absolute difference between each two consecutive one is either 5 or 7. You have to say that after composing these melodies, you have to say that if it is good or not, if the difference between each two consecutive ones is 5 or 7 or not. Well, this is just the implementation, so maybe if you guys want, I can implement it for you. It has nothing to do with why I have so much delay for myself. It has nothing to do with any algorithms, etc. You just get the array and you move forward in it, and you will just see that if it is 5 or 7 or not. You look different than yesterday. Yesterday it was Yan doing the stream, not me. So if you want, I can start implementing it as well. I mean, it's not gonna... You know, I used to implement codes in here without compiling, and it was kind of challenging and interesting. Maybe I can do it here right now as well. It wouldn't take time. So you see in T while T minus minus int n sin n, and you can, for example, I don't know, for example, let's set a vector for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, int x, sin x, and you just say that you have a boolean of bad equal to false. Let me know if I have any compilation errors. Please, you can be the compiler here and let me know if I have any compilation error. It's been a time that I haven't done this. I mean, previously I was doing it a lot, in order to improve my focus, I was trying to code here without compiling, trying to get an accept. I say that if vec.size and vec.back, absolute value of vec.back minus x was not equal to 5 and it was not equal to 7, bad is equal to true. And at the end you just see out if it was bad, you see out no, otherwise see out yes. So basically you just have a 4 on all the elements. You will see whenever you got an x, you compare it with the previous one. In your vector you compare it with previous one, and you say that if the difference with that one, the last one in the vector, was not equal to 5 or equal to 7, it is bad, and at the end you would say vector push back this value of x. Does it make sense? Do you think it gets accepted? I didn't have any compilation errors. I can copy it so that it's possible that it has some compilation errors. But anyway, I submit it. The solution is just this. I mean, we just have this array, we have a 4 on all of them, and we just compare each two consecutive ones. If this difference was 5 or 7, it is good. There's no problem with it. Otherwise, it is wrong. And it would be, I mean, it is bad. This is not a good sequence. And it got an accepted verdict. So that was all about it. Each time whenever we got a number, we compare it with the last number, and then we push back that one to the end of the vector as well. This vector at back says that what is the last number in the vector. We compare them. If the difference was not 5 or 7, it is bad. Otherwise, it is okay. And at the end, we see if it was good or not. Is it okay? If you guys are okay with this problem, please use this emoji or put a plus in the chat. If you guys want to move on to the next problem. If you want to talk more about this problem, also let me know. Shall we move on to problem B or? Okay. Okay. So I guess no one wants to talk more about this one. We will talk about other problems after. For now, we have to move on to problem B. Yeah, tourists also participated in this round. It's interesting. Did he win the first round? Yeah, he won. He won the round. Okay, good. Let me see what was his gap. Penalty 93. The next one, Neil 103. Okay, interesting. Let's talk about the second problem, problem B. Startup. It says that we have we want to sell soda from a vending machine, and you have a machine with N shelves and K bottles. The bottle number I is characterized by the brand index BI and the cost CI. And you can place any number of bottles on each shelf, but all the bottles on the same shelf must be of the same brand. So we can use at most N different brands. We want to choose them in a way that it has the maximum possible cost in total. So basically we have N shelves. In each shelf we can put only one brand, and each soda is from one of these brands and has some cost. We want to arrange them into these shelves in a way that the sum of their costs will be maximized. Again, this one is mostly implementation as well. This problem is also mostly implementation. It's just enough to find out that for each brand, what is the sum of costs of all the sodas for that brand. So for each brand, we can find that out, that what is the sum of the cost of all the sodas for that brand. And once you know this, you need to just bring the ones that are maximum, the N maximum ones. You can, for example, use maps or something like that in order to save that. I mean, for example, you can have a map or you can also have an array. So basically, let me see if my tablet works now or not. It's still not working. I don't know what has happened to it, but it's not working anymore, unfortunately. Okay, so let's show it on here. So basically, we are gonna have this we're gonna have this sodas. We can have a map, for example. Since bi's are up to k, you can also use an array. But whenever you got a soda of type B with cost C, you can say that MP of B plus equal to C. If you want, I can implement it completely for you guys as well. If you want, we can code it right now. We say MP of B plus equal to C, and at the end we see all the values of this MP. We see that how many values we have in the map. If the number of values in the map was less than or equal to n, then we can have all the sodas, we can sell all the costs. Our answer is going to be the sum of the cost of everything. Otherwise, we take the maximum numbers in the map. We can, for example, store all the values that are in the map in a, for example, vector, sort them all, and just print the sum of the n maximum ones. And that's going to be all about this problem. Do you want me to implement it, or do you want me to move on to the next problem? Which one do you guys prefer? Next one. Okay. And Aditya, as I said, about the other problems, we can discuss it later. For now, we have to discuss problems in div 3, but for sure we'll, maybe if you want, you can join our Telegram channel and mention that there. Everyone, all of you guys, if you want, you can join our Telegram channel in here and you can ask all your questions there. You can also join our Discord server. This is the link to our Telegram channel, and this is the link to our Discord server. And about our topic streams and everything like that, we will coordinate in the Telegram channel as well. So if you want, you can join there to watch all the topic streams, etc. Everything, all the polls that which topic you want to be discussed in the topic stream will be there in our Telegram channel. If you want, you can join there and ask your questions there as well. Okay. Okay, so there are some people, a few people who say implement or show code. Maybe I can just show the code and then move on to problem C. Let me just show some code to you guys and then we will move on to problem C, so that everybody are okay with it. So let me show you tourist's code maybe. So I'm waiting for it to load. Sorry that it's keeping you waiting. How can I become strong and greedy? If you guys want, maybe I can have a topic stream on greedy and explain it, if you guys want. So, okay, this is the code of tourists, and it says that if you take a look at it, it sees n and k, and he has only a vector c of size k. He just keeps everything in vector. He keeps the sum of the costs of each brand in a vector instead of a map. That would also work. He would see a and b each times, and he will subtract a by 1 because he wants to make everything zero based. Instead of from 1 to k, he wants to make it from 0 to k minus 1. And then he says c of a plus equal to b. He adds this b to the sum of the costs of all the sodas of this brand A, and then at the end he will sort them all from the end, and he will just calculate the sum of the first minimum of n and k of them. Because we have k different types, I mean the size of this vector is k, and we can pick at most n of them. We should pick the first n, but if the k is already less than n, we can take all of them. So it must be minimum of n and k, because we have k sodas in total, so it cannot be more than k, and we have n shelves in total, so it cannot be more than n. So it would be at most minimum of n and k. This accumulate function just calculates the sum of these values. You could instead also have a for from 0 to minimum of n and k and calculate the sum manually. Calculate the sum by hand. That would also work. Okay, and this way you can calculate everything. Is it completely okay? Shall we move on to problem C now? This was the code by tourists. If you want, I can just send this to you as well. Send the link of this solution to you as well. Okay. So let me send it to you as well. And this was the link of the solution of problem B by tourists. Now let's move on to problem C. Problem C. Ania and 1100. So this problem states that problem C states that while rummaging into things in a distant drawer, Ania found a beautiful string S consisting only of 0s and 1s. Now she wants to make it even more beautiful by performing Q operations on it. Each operation is described by two integers I and V, and means that the ith character of the string is assigned the value V. So you change the ith character of the string to V. But Ania loves the number 1100, so after each query she asks you to tell her whether the substring 1100 is present in her string or not. So you have to say that each time this substring exists or does not exist. You have to find that out. Okay, so in order to solve this problem, and we see that the size of S is at most 2 times 10 to the 5th. The sum of the sizes of S across all test cases does not exceed 2 times 10 to the 5th. Well, for this problem, what you can do basically is that instead of trying to find out if 11, if 00 exists or not, let's count that how many of these do we have. So instead of seeing if it exists or not, we try to count how many of these do we have. Okay, and we try to update it each time. How do we update it? Well, the point is that whenever you change one cell, there are only a few possible substrings that will be affected. I mean, there would be one substring here, starting from 3 indices before this to this cell. One would be here, one would be this one, and one would be this one. Only these 4 substrings will be changed. Maybe previously they were 1100 and now they're not, or previously they were not and now they are. These are the only ones that could change. So the point is that when you want to update the number of 1100s, you can first have a 4 on these 4 possible cases, and if you solve 1100, now you will subtract 1 from your answer because now they are being ruined. And if they were 1100, maybe after this operation they will not be anymore. It's okay if they still are. I mean, we will add them back again. I mean, if you change some index to what it was before, they will be added back again. The point is that first we will subtract what we have in here. Each one of them, if it was 1100, we will subtract 1 from the answer. And then after changing it, we will have a 4 again on this one, and we see that if they were 1100, we add 1 to our answer again for each one of them. So basically, let me check your comments as well, because now I'm doing everything on laptop. So basically, what we are doing is that we will consider only 4 possible substrings that might change. For each one of them, we will see that if it was 110 or not. If it was 110 previously, we will subtract that from the answer. And now, after changing, we will check all of them again. If now it has become 1100, we will add 1 to the answer. Thank you very much, Ajay. Love from here as well. I don't know, I should send love from Iran or from the US, but love you guys too. There was a similar problem in AdCoder back in September. Interesting. Yes, this contest had a lot of implementation. So you sometimes use the word math forces for Codeforces when it has a lot of mathematic problems. So now that it has implementation problems, what word do you think must be used for Codeforces? Implement forces, something like that. Let me again bring someone's code for this problem as well. Maybe I can show again tourist code complements. Interesting. Codeforces and implementation. What word we can use? That's it's interesting that no one has come up with it yet. I never seen someone using such words for that. Okay, so let's talk about tourist code again. Let me show you the tourist code. Maybe let me make it full screen. Okay, so if you take a look at his code, he takes all the number of test cases, and each time he has a string s, he's seeing s, and n is equal to int of s size. And each time he says that when he wants to update, he will move on. He will say that if I was greater than 0 and this, he will just if s the subset of I and 4 was equal to 1100, a dot insert I, otherwise a dot erase I. So the point is that he has a set. His way is that he keeps the set of them, set of all 1100s. He does not only keep the count. It was also enough if we would keep the count, but we could also keep all the possible cases in a set as well. That would also work, because I mean it depends on which one you are more comfortable with. Both works. So he just calculates. He just keeps all of them in a set. And he just keeps updating everything. He first updates everyone. Updating is like this. He will check if you have 1100. If you have 1100, he says a dot insert of I. I mean the substring starting from I is a good substring. Otherwise, he will erase it, because he says that the substring starting from I is not a good substring in that case. Otherwise, he will erase it from the subsequence. And then he will say that he will have a queue, and he will see in queue each time he has some I and V, he will subtract 1 from I to make it 0 base first, and change S of I. And then, as I said, he starts from I minus 3 and goes to I. These are all the substrings that will change. The substrings starting from these indices are the only substrings that are going to change. He's going to have a 4 on them, and then he will update that index. At the end, if A was empty, this set A was empty, it means that you have no 1100. So the answer is going to be no. Otherwise, the answer is going to be yes, because we have at least one 1100. Okay. Does it make sense? How does update work? Well, the point is that in his updates, he's given some value I. He's given some value I, and he will say that if the substring starting from I is gonna be, if the substring starting from I is gonna be good or not. So he will be given some I, and he will say that if the substring starting from index I is gonna be good or not. It's gonna be 1, 1, 0, 0 or not. If it was, he will insert it into his set. Maybe it was in the set previously as well, but he will insert it again, because this one must be in set. So he makes sure that if it is not already in the set, he will add it to the set. Otherwise, that one is not a good, so he will erase it. And do not forget that when you erase, maybe from the beginning that element was not in your set. If it is not in your set and you will erase it, nothing would happen. So that's okay. He will just make sure that if it is in the set, he will remove it from the set. So in the updates, what he's doing is just this. He will just, if you have 1100, he makes sure that that element is in the set. If that is not 110, he will make sure that that element is not in the set. Do you hear this sound or not? Is it stopped? But anyway. So he will erase it if it is in the set. And so based on that, everything would be updated. And the point is that whenever you change one element, you need to just worry about 4 possible substring. You start from I minus 3, go to I. You consider all the substrings starting from these indices and not about the rest. And at the end, you will see that if A was empty, the answer is no, otherwise the answer is going to be yes. Yeah, it wasn't fire alarm this time. Were you guys here when once fire alarm turned on during the stream? Once during the stream, fire alarm turned on, and it was way worse than this. I don't know which ones of you guys were in the stream when that happened. I had one stream that in the middle of it, fire alarm started to turn on, and yeah, it was very loud, and it was ruining the stream. No one was here during that stream. Let me see. Tourist is not human. Why? Because he or she is tourist. It's a he. You don't know tourist. Yeah, using set was helpful. Why erase? I won't be there if it was not a good index. Yes. If it is not there, if it was not a good index previously and it is not there, it is okay. If you erase it, nothing would happen. So no issue. You will have no issue. I had Anya. This problem lost me like 30 minutes. That's not good. Any comments on Neil vs Tourist? Who's better? When in competitive programming, Tourist is better than everyone. So my own idea is that Tourist. My own belief. Please do a dry run. Do you guys want to run a dry run on it or not? Okay, so far, if you guys are okay with it, please put a plus or use this emoji. If you want to do anything else on it, for example, like dry run or anything else, let me know. And guys, as always, we're gonna have topic streams as well. Each week, we're gonna have one topic stream on a topic. From this time, maybe we start having contests as well. So maybe I will make a Codeforces group for you guys to put contests there for you guys. So that the problems that will be discussed in topic stream, you can participate in a contest and try to solve the problems first by yourself as well. If you want, you can try to participate in those contests as well if you want it. But anyway, if you want to watch the topic streams, they are gonna be each Friday. The last week it was on Wednesdays instead of Friday, but usually it's always in Friday. And if you want to watch the previous topic streams, you can watch it from this playlist. How many of you guys have already watched the topic streams? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you can subscribe to the channel as well and be aware of all the things that are going on in here, including the topic streams, solution discussions, and I'm starting to cover some more problems very soon as well. I will let you know about it. Is it fair to help people in help friend in contest? No, it's not. That's cheating. You should not send codes to each other or anything like that. Dry run. Where can I find the topic stream? I sent you the link to the topic streams just now. Maybe this is the link to the topic stream. What does penalty mean? Penalty means that how much, based on if you get a wrong answer, if you solve a problem very late, you will get a penalty for that. So it shows that how fast you were in coding. Basically, it's mostly about how fast you are. So about dry run, let's move on and see what is going on in here. If you consider, for example, this example here. Initially, when you have a for on all the substrings of length 4, you add this one in your set. Only this one will be added to your set. So your set will only consist of 0. The string starting from index 0 is going to be a good substring. The rest of them are not good. Then whenever you make a change, for example, you change the 6th one. The 6th one is going to be this. You're going to make it 1. Well, the point is that when you're going to make it 1, the only substrings that you need to change, you need to fix, you need to see if they are not good or not, is this one, or the ones that starts from this or this. Now, in this example, because they go out of the your string, they go out of the bounds of your string, you do not need to consider them. But anyway, you need to just only consider the substrings starting from the character that is to the left of you, and its distance at distance 3, at distance 2, at distance 1, and this character itself. You have to only consider the ones that starting from these indices, and you have to see what are them, and if they are good now, you will insert them into your set. If they are not good now, you will erase them from your set. In here, nothing changed. All of them are bad. They will be erased from your set, but they are already not in your set, so nothing would change, basically. Then you will change the one at index 7 to 1, and again you will have a 4 on only this 4, the one that starts from this one, the one that starts from this one, and so on, as long as it does not go out of this string. You see that again none of them are good, so nothing will be added. Nothing will be added or erased from your set. Everything will be erased, but they are not inside already, so nothing will change in your set. Then after that, you will change the 4th one. This will be changed to 1. So now you will going to have 4 on 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3 because it's going to be 0 base. So 4 really turns into 3 when it is 0 base. So when you have a 4 on 0, when you see 0, you see that 0 is not good anymore. So you will erase it from your set. So it's not going to be, your set is going to turn to an empty set. So at the end, what you will get is that you will not have any 1, 1, 0, 0. So you will get a no there. So this is how it works. I mean, each time when you make a change, the point is that only 4 substrings, for 4 substrings, their situation might change, and you will have a 4 on all those 4 substrings and see that what is their situation now. If they are good now, you will insert them to your set. If they are not good now, you will erase them from your set. And you do not need to worry if they are already inside your set or they're not inside your set. If you insert something and it is already in your set, nothing would change. And if you erase something and it is already not in your set, again nothing would change. So you do not need to worry about these cases. So this way everything would be solved. And this is the link to the submission of this problem for tourists. Do you practice? Right? No, I'm not practicing CP anymore. I've kind of done my practicing mostly, and nowadays I'm working on some other fields. Maybe if you want someday I can tell you what the projects I have right now. But for fun I sometimes solve problems, but I don't practice like professional practicing. How to improve implementation? Definitely you have to solve a lot of problems to improve your implementation. You're welcome. Why? Will you make a video on beat masking? Yeah, definitely. If you guys want, I can make a topic stream on beat masking. Join our Telegram channel, and there you can tell me if you want to talk about beat masking in the next topic streams. They have mentioned change 0, 1 temporary or permanent. It is permanent, I think. It is permanent. So once you change, it will remain in the next queries as well. That change will remain in the next queries as well. Oh, you shared your code? Your friend copied it? Codeforces system might detect it, and I hope that Yeah, for sure, you guys are gonna be skipped from the contest. At least the one who copied from you is gonna be skipped from the contest. But I don't know what else can happen to you guys. Yeah, sure. Do you guys want to move on to problem D now? Shall we talk about problem D? Okay. Yes, operations are persistent in C. Please give Telegram channel link. Okay, I send the Telegram channel link again. Wait a minute. This is Telegram channel link, and this is the link to the topic streams. Okay, so let's move on to problem D now. Problem D. I love 1543. One morning, Polycarp woke up and realized that 1543 is the most favorite number in his life. The first thing that Polycarp saw that day, as soon as he opened his eyes, was a large wall carpet of size n by m cells. N and m are even integers. Each cell contains one of the digits from 0 to 9. Polycarp became curious about how many times the number 1543 would appear in all layers of this carpet when traversed clockwise. And the layers are defined this way. When you have a table like this, the outer layer is gonna be the ones that are exactly on the sides. I mean, they don't have 4 adjacent cells. At least one side of them is out of the table. So these are these ones in this color. I don't know what this color is called exactly, but maybe cyan or something like that. So this is the outer level. So if you see the definition of the layer, it says that the first layer of a carpet of size n by m is defined as the closed strip of length 2 times n plus m minus 2 and thickness of one element. Surrounding is outer parts. This is going to be exactly this part out of this carpet. I mean the outer side of this carpet. Each subsequent layer is defined as the first layer of the carpet obtained by removing all previous layers from the original carpet. So basically in this problem, again, you can move on all the layers one by one. You can, for example, define a function like this. This function can, for example, you can give it a sub table of this table. So initially you have the whole table. You can instead each time, and first of all, let me tell you that this problem is also an implementation problem. It has no algorithmic part again. So maybe it's also good if I show you some code as well and experiment on the code, because this one is also implementation. I can show you a good implementation maybe and explain that one to you. Maybe that is gonna be more helpful. Do you guys want to see? It's Turkish, yeah, maybe, yes. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for correcting that. In fact, so this is again tourist's code. Let me explain it on this code. Let's see that how he has implemented this. So basically what he's doing, he's moving on all the possible layers. He has a for r from 0, and as long as r plus r is gonna be less than or equal to minimum of h minus 1 and w minus 1. But basically because we have these many layers in total, r cannot be more than that. Okay, if r is, I mean 2 times r must be less than or equal to this. For example, you see that when your n is 4, your n and m is 4, the size of your grid is 4. This one starts from 0, the first layer is layer 0, the second layer is layer 1. So your 4 must go up to 1. Okay, so basically you can see that 2 times r must be less than h minus 1 and w minus 1, n minus 1 and m minus 1. For example, when they are 4, r must be at most 1. When they are 5, R can be at most 2. So that's why we say this, right? This, you could instead say that R is less than or equal to H minus 1 half, minimum of H minus 1 half and W minus 1 half. And then he will try to find out all the digits that you have in here. He makes a string S, he starts from the beginning. He wants to traverse over all this layer and save all the digits that he sees. He wants to keep all the digits that he sees in this layer. He knows that the first cell that, if he first is starting from row number R. He wants to start from row number R, and the number of column must start from R plus 1 and goes to W minus R. Well, the point is that the reason behind this is that if you consider this table, you are considering layer number R. So, you have to start from row and column number R. And on the other hand, you must finish at row and column H minus R and W minus R. H minus R and W minus R. So this is what you're gonna have. This is the layer that you're gonna have. So the point is that in here, if you consider this layer, he first starts from this cell, R and R plus 1, and goes all the way to here and stores all of them in T. He starts from R and R plus 1 and goes all the way to R and W minus R. Then what he does is this. He will go over this column. He wants to start now from here and go to here. He wants to go from here to here. And he will save all of them again in the string T. And then again he will go to row number H minus 1 minus R. He will start from here and go here, store all of them in a string T, and so on. So this way he has all of them in a string. First he stores everything in this layer in a string. And once he has them in a string, what he does is this. He just adds the first 3 elements at the end as well, because it is cyclic. So if you take a look at T, the point is that you could also start from here and continue from the other way and make a string like this. So the point is that those 3 characters at the beginning of your string could be used at the end as well. So those 3 characters at the beginning of your string could be used at the end as well. So you make a copy of them and put them at the end. And then you will have a 4 from 0 to t dot size minus 4, because the start must be at most that much, if t dot substr of I and 4 was equal to 1543 ans plus plus. That's a question why he has said ans plus equal to 1, why he doesn't like plus plus. That's interesting way of coding. But anyway, he says that ans plus equal to 1. If t dot substr of I and 4 was equal to 1543, ans plus plus, and at the end counts ans. And this way, everything can be calculated. Does it make sense? While minus implementation problems, Codeforces plus plus. Interesting. Can you explain why the R plus R less than or equal to mean again, please? Yeah, sure. I will. Yeah, I haven't participated in Meta. Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't participate in that. From the first round, I couldn't participate in it. So let me first explain this part. R plus R is less than min. But the point is that if you're consider minimum of n and m, the point is that if you want to see that how many layers you might have, consider minimum of n and m. If n is even, first of all, let's assume that you have an n by n grid. You have an n by n grid. The point is that we saw that if n is even, the last one that is gonna be the last cell that you can, the last layer you have, if this is layer 0, the next one is layer 1, and so on. The last layer starts from n half minus 1. For example, we saw that when n is 4, the layers are 0 and 1. We have two layers, there's 0 and 0, 1. The point is that if n is even, you have exactly n half layers, from layer 0 to layer n half minus 1. And if n is odd, again, your layers start from 0 and go to n minus 1 half. I mean, this middle one is gonna be n minus 1 half. So it's like both of them are floor of n minus 1 half. In both of them, the layers start from 0 and go all the way to n minus 1 half. This is for the case that h and w are the same, but if they're different, again as well, you will consider just the minimum. The minimum one is the indicator. The minimum one shows that how many layers we're going to have. So we start from the 0 and go all the way to the floor of n minus 1 half. Okay, so that's why in here, what we do have is r plus r less than or equal to this. You could, as I said, instead say that r less than or equal to this value divided by 2. That would also work. Does it make sense now? If it is, please put a plus or use the emoji. Okay, it seems that it is. Okay. Shall we talk about problem E now? I have a headache. Why, Abdul Rahman? What has happened to you? Maybe it's because of a lot of implementation problems. You know, personally, maybe if I would participate in, yeah, I see. Maybe if I would participate, I would have a headache as well. But this would help as well. I mean, the point is that if you want to grow your implementation skills, it's really helpful to solve so many implementation problems. So that would really help you to improve your implementation skills to participate in such contests. Today's contest was implementation heavy. Yeah, it was. It was. How do you set up checking for interactive problems? What do you mean by checking? Do you mean checking the inputs that you're gonna get? Why w minus 2? You know, the point is that this row, the index of this row is exactly w minus 2 minus r. This column. The point is that, the point is that the first row and column are r and r. The last ones are w minus 1 minus r and h minus 1 minus r. The last ones are double, because if r is 0, you're working with h minus 1 and w minus 1. If r is 1, you're working with h minus w minus 1 and h minus 2 and w minus 2. So basically, whatever r is, you will go up to w minus 1 minus r and h minus 1 minus r. But if you look at his code, as you see in here, he will start from one index after that, after the first one. That's why it's w minus 2 minus r, not. The point is that yes, this column is w minus 1 minus r. This column is w minus 1 minus r. But because he starts from the second one in this row, he will start from w minus 2 minus r. He has one additional minus 1. I hope that it made sense. If it did not, let me know. Do not try to skip some parts and do things in a very fast way. I mean, there's no hack to do anything. This learning CP is a long-term project. I don't think I didn't become master in 6 months after pupil as well. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I mean, it's not the way that you have to look at it. Learning CP is a long-term project. I mean, at least when you started, you have to keep it in mind that, okay, I will be in this field for 2 years or 3 years, at least. I mean, after 2 or 3 years, you will talk. Basically, you need to first just be in Codeforces for 2 or 3 years, and then we will talk about it. So you should not only consider that, okay, I start after 2 months, I'm gonna be a candidate master, then after 2 months I'm gonna be a grandmaster, and then after 2 months I'm gonna be a legendary grandmaster. That's not how CP works. CP works in solving so many problems that might be also hard. I mean, as you become stronger, you're gonna need to be able to solve harder problems. So you start thinking on very hard problems that take 6 hours for you to think about, for example. So you see that you need to put a lot of time to practice to become better. So it's not gonna be a short-term project for you. For example, even if you look at, you saw that how Tourist is strong right now. He's the first person in competitive programming, he's the top person, but he's registered 15 years ago. I mean, Tourist did not come here in 1 year. I mean, he did not need 15 years for all of it, but you look at it, I mean, he only participated in IOI 6 or 7 times, I guess Tourist participated in IOI 7 times. I think in the first year he got a silver, and then in the next years he got gold medals. Yes, you see that. He first in 2006 got a silver medal, then he got 6 gold medals. So, I mean, Tourist was practicing for so many years. I mean, even before the silver, he was practicing from his childhood. He was practicing so many years so that he got there. So it's not like after several months you will reach some milestone. It is a long-term project. It takes a lot of time to get better in this field. Why R plus R? Because 2 times R must be at most that much. You could instead, as I said, say that R less than or equal to minimum of these 2 values divided by 2. That would also work. You could also say that R is at most minimum of these 2 divided by 2. Because you saw that when n is even, you will go up to n half minus 1. When n is odd, you will go to n minus 1 half. In both of the cases, you have n minus 1 half floor of n minus 1 half. Shaya, my roommate likes you a lot. Is your roommate a guy or a girl? I think that's an important thing to know. But thank you anyway. I'm solving up to problem C in div 2 and E in div 3. What should I do to improve? Well, you have to keep practicing. You have to solve so many problems. You have to keep solving problems. And as I said right now, you have to each day go on over the problems, try to think about them, try to solve them. This is basically how you will improve. There's no other way. I was able to solve first 5 problems. I wasted a lot of time on the 5th problem. I see. That's okay. That will happen, basically. And it's very good that you have solved 5 problems. If you continue practicing, maybe soon you will be able to full a contest. I mean, solve all of them, full market contests. What is the rating of D? What do you guys think the rating of D would be? I think it would be around maybe 1600. The ratings are not out yet, right? Yeah. I think it would be around 1600 maybe. Or other people have other opinions. 1000, 1400, 1200, 1300, maybe. Yeah, maybe I said too much. Yeah, maybe less than, maybe 1300. Thank you very much, Anish. I'm so happy that if it is helping you. Yeah, it really means a lot for me when I see that you guys learn something from it. When I feel that, I mean, when I see that somebody has learned something from these live streams or the topic streams that we have and we talk about the problems, and I see that someone says that it has some impact on his learning journey, it has helped them to learn competitive programming better, it really means a lot. I mean, at that time I start to feel that yes, what I'm doing is meaningful and it has some effect on something. Because sometimes I start to question that and see that how helpful this is right now. And when I see that it is helpful for people, I really feel like this is awesome. I'm going in the right direction. Are you still a student? Yeah, I'm still a student. I'm a PhD student in University of Maryland. Sure. Great. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. I hope that we can continue doing a great job and continue being impactful. That is really great. And guys, always you can give me feedbacks and let me know that what you want to be covered in the next topic streams or other than topic streams. If you want to me to make some video about something, always in the Telegram channel you can mention me and let me know about it. Thank you very much, Aditya. Thank you. Okay. Shall we move on to problem E? What's your future plan? Well, I have many plans in my mind. Maybe I will continue. I mean, basically what is in my mind is to work in startups. I'm gaining some experience right now about startups, and that's my true passion, basically. Thank you. Marriage. Yeah, marriage is also maybe in future. My age, I recently became 25. I became 25 in 27th of October. I mean, just 5 or 6 days ago, I became 25. And I'm like freaked out that I became 25. I mean, I'm getting really old. I've become so grown up. I mean, I was just a kid several years ago, and now I'm 25. It's a lot. Yeah, sure. I will cover E. I know that many of you are waiting for E. I should not keep you waited more than this. Thank you very much. Thank you. So let me also talk about problem E. I know that a lot of you guys are waiting for it. So, problem E, reverse the reverse. A conspiracy of ancient sages who decided to redirect rivers for their own convenience has put the world on the brink. But before implementing their grand plan, they decided to carefully think through their strategy. That's what sages do. There are n countries, each with exactly k regions. For the jth region of the ith country, they calculated the value a sub I and j, which reflects the amount of water in it. The sages intend to create channels between the jth region of the ith country and the jth region of the I plus 1th country for all I from 1 to n minus 1 and for all j from 1 to k. Since all n countries are on the largest, so water flows toward the country with the highest number. So basically, when you start with a of I and j, value of a of I and j water in cell I and j, after this operation, there will be b of I and j water, which is gonna be equal to a of 1 and j, or a of 2 and j, or a of 3 and j, and so on. And at the end, you have several queries. Each query will contain m requirements, and in each of them, you are given some values like r and o, which is a sign, and it just says that b of I and r should be less than c, or it should be greater than c. So you have some requirements that says that we want a row such that this cell in it is greater than some value or less than some value. At the end, you have to say that if any row has this condition or not. If any row has this condition, outputs the minimum among them, the smallest one of them, otherwise output minus 1. That was a very long statement. I hope that you understood it. I hope that you understood what the statement, and I know that you might already know that what the statement is. That's why I didn't spend a lot of time on it. So anyway, at the end we have this array, and at the end we have several requirements. For example, this one says that the first cell of the row should be greater than 4. The second one should be less than 8. the first one should be less than 6, and so on. So we have these conditions, and we want to find the smallest row that these conditions hold true for them. We want to find the smallest row with these conditions. Well, the main important thing that helps to solve this problem is to think about this first. That's the main fact. This is the first problem in the context that has a bit fact, some facts, but it's not still a lot. I mean, after a while, it again turns into implementation as well. But let me talk about it. By the way, it's not a bad thing that div3 context has implementation problems. That's what's maybe the best choice for div3 contests. The main fact about this one is that if you consider each of the columns, if you consider each one of the columns, they are in increasing order. Starting from top, going to the bottom, all of these columns are in increasing order. Okay, so each of your conditions, if it says that, for example, some cell should be greater than something, it means that it must be a suffix of one of the, a suffix of that row. I mean, a suffix of that column. So the number of your rows should be greater than or equal to something. If your number must be greater than something. If it must be less than something, it means that it must be in a prefix. So basically, each of your conditions shows that your rows, the number of your rows should be less than something or greater than something. You can translate them to this easily. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is that basically each of these conditions means that the number of your rows should be greater than something or it must be less than something. That's the main thing that we have. So initially, for each column, we calculate all the values for each column. We calculate all the values that we have in that column, and whenever we add a condition, we just do a binary search on that column and see that what is the first element that has this condition. I mean, if it is greater than something, what is the first element that is greater than that? Or if it must be less than something, what is the latest element that is less than that? And then we will translate it to a condition that says that this row must be greater than something or less than something. And then we have to take the intersection of all these prefixes and suffixes. It's like each time when this happens, it means that we have some left or let's say some top pointer and some bottom pointer. Whenever something like this happens that we have to search in a suffix, I mean our row must be in this suffix, we can say that top is equal to maximum of top and this position. It means that we should start at least from here. I mean, our row must be after here. So it's like we have 2 pointers and we can see that, we can move them and at the end see that if it is empty or not. If it was not empty, it means that we have at least one cell in the middle and one row in the middle and we can choose that row. It's better if I show you some code about it as well. Let me bring some code as well to explain. But in general, was the solution clear in general? Does it make sense? The solution that I discussed does make sense. Okay, nice. So again, let me move on to the solution and show everything that I said. Show everything that I said in the solution. Here, I again brought tourists code. I mean, now that tourist has participated in the contest, I decided to just show his codes. His codes are neat as well, so it's good to explain from them, and it's easy to understand. So basically, he has these values of n and k and q. We have these values that we have to see in at the beginning, n and so basically we have these values of n and k and q. Q is the number of cures and n and k is the size of the table. Then we have n rows and each of them have k numbers. We see in A of I and j. Then for each column we are trying to keep all the ORs up to that point. So he turns everything to what it must be at the end. We know that at the end every element will be ORed with everything on top of it. So what he is doing is that A of j and I will be or equal to A of j and I minus 1. So it will be or equal to everything above it. Because j and I minus 1 is previously ORed with everything above as well. So you have the final values that you're going to have in each column. And then whenever you have a requirement, he has 2 pointers, high and low. It's exactly the same as this top and bottom that I was talking about here. He has some two pointers, low and high. Then he translates each one of these requirements. He says that if, for example, we had this, we say that high is going to be equal to minimum of high, and he has lower bounds to find out what is the first element greater than or equal to x, and he is sure that the number of the row must be before that. The number of the row must be before that for sure. So he will update the value of high, he sets it equal to this. His interval is inclusive exclusive, so it includes low and it does not include high. And then else he says that low is equal to maximum of low and upper bound of a dot begin and a dot end x minus a dot begin. At the end he says that if low was greater than or equal to high, it means that the interval is empty, so you need to print minus 1. Otherwise you need to print low plus 1. That plus 1 is because everything is 0 based in here, but you have to make it 1 based. That's why you have this plus 1. And this is how everything will be calculated. This is a very neat and a very short solution for this problem. So everything could be translated into just some query of just saying that the row number must be less than or equal to something or greater than or equal to something. Everything it shows that the row must be in a prefix or a suffix, and then you could easily calculate the intersection of all of them and see if there's any row on that or not. The main fact of this problem was that in each column all the numbers are in increasing order. That was the main thing that we had in this problem, and this is the link to the solution. To the solution has rows for each region. Basically he has, yes, it's based on the regions. Each country has several regions, and the point is that we know that the new value of the jth region of the ith country, b of I and j, will be the OR of that region in every other country. So that's what tourist code is doing as well. He will just calculate that what the value is going to be at the end, value for that region. Yes, it's region wise. For each region, you know that its value should be ORed with all the people before it, all the regions, all the same regions in other countries, the regions with the same index in the other countries. You have to calculate the OR of all of them. And then when you know the OR of all of them as the value in here, then for each region, when you know that its value should be less than something or greater than something, you should do a binary search and translate that query to a query that just says that the number of rows must be greater than or equal to something or less than or equal to something. Yeah. I didn't understand what does it mean. As they say, the operation is OR. Do you write solution in Java? I mean, in most of time we implement the codes in C++ in competitive programming. I personally, yes, implement in C++, not Java, C++, while I'm participating in a Codeforces contest or a CP contest. Most of the time in CP you use C++. Is it clear? What is your CF rating? You don't know my CF accounts? This is my CF account. Shaya. This is my rating is 2691. It max was 2751. Okay. How many of you guys are watching my live stream or topic stream for the first time? How many of you are watching me for the first time now? Look at that candid profile pic. Damn, you mean this picture? What is up with this picture? This was in the first round of NAC ICBC NAC. The first time that the first round that we had, we won three regions that day. We won we won the South and I think Mid-Atlantic region and one other region. We won 3 regions that day and we qualified for NAC. Then in the NAC we got the bronze medal and we qualified to World Final. And the World Final did not end up well at all. Yeah. Bro, been here for a while. Looking good, thanks. 27, 55, 51. It's not very high compared to tourists 4,000. Oh, that was a very good, very interesting thing. Yeah, it's the same shirt. That was a very interesting thing. Yeah, let me show it to you. It's the same shirt that I'm wearing right now. So yes, I usually in all of my topic streams and live streams, I use one of the t-shirts that I had in these rounds. So yes, these t-shirts that I'm wearing right now is for this round. Yeah. That was a very nice thing to mention. Yeah, nice. Okay, sure. Let's move on to problem F. Sean doesn't look like nerd. Strange. How do I look like? I mean, assume that I'm sorry that I'm keeping you waited, but this is also fun. I mean, in our discussions, we don't only solve problems; we have fun as well. But how do I look like if you see me for the first time? Just you can say that in the chats, and while I'm solving the next problem. That's a shame that you're not a girl then. Playboy in uni. I see. You like Mr. Player. Let me at the same time doing problem F as well, so that we move on to problem F instantly as well. Bro, come to India. Sure. I can come to India. If you guys have something related to Olympiads or something, maybe I can come there as a project. Or if there is a conference, CS conference there, maybe I can come. But I would definitely want to visit India. I would visit India. You look Iranian. Bro, I'm Iranian. What do you think I am? Are you also Iranian, ASC? I am Iranian. Healthy Summer Raina. Summer Raina. Is he a actor or something? I see. Okay, I think some people are gonna beat me very soon if I don't cover F now. So let's move on to problem F. It's enough with talking other stuff. Let's talk about problem F. Okay, Exorificator 3000. Alice has been giving gifts to Bob for many years, and she knew that what he enjoys the most is performing bitwise XOR of interesting integers. Bob considers a positive integer x to be interesting if it satisfies x not congruent to k modulo 2 to the power of I. Therefore, this year for his birthday, she gifted him a super powerful Exorificator 3000, the latest model. Bob was very pleased with the gift as it allowed him to instantly compute the XOR of all interesting integers in any range from L to R inclusive. After all, what else does a person need for happiness? Unfortunately, the device was so powerful that at one point it performed XOR with itself and disappeared. Bob was very upset, and to cheer him up, Alice asked you to write your version of XORification. So this problem is saying that you are given L and R, you have to write XOR of all the numbers from L to R, XOR of all the numbers from L to R, except the ones that are k modulo 2 to the power of I. Except the ones that modulo 2 to the power of I, they are k. These are the special ones that you should not consider them. These ones must be removed, and you have to consider the XOR of the rest of them. So, there are several facts that we can say in this problem that makes this problem way easier. So, do you play chess? Not much. Not much. I'm not that much good in it. I mean, it's been a while. When I was a kid, I was doing it a lot and I was good, but now not anymore. I recently got to 25. But anyway, so basically, let's talk about the facts that we have in here. We have L to R. We want to calculate the XOR of all the elements that modulo 2 to the power of I, they are not k. We want to see that what is their XOR, and they are between L and R. So basically, we have an interval here. What can we say? What is the first thing that we can say? We have an interval from L to R. We have seen this idea so many times. Exactly. It's something similar to prefix sums. Okay. So the point is that we can have an idea similar to prefix sums here, because I mean, consider the answer for L and R. You can easily say that because in here you have XOR. XORing some number twice is like that number never existed in there. So when you XOR a number twice, it disappears. So basically you can say that f of L and R is always equal to f of 1 and R XOR f of 1 and L minus 1. This is the first thing that you can say. F of L and R is equal to f of 1 and R XOR f of 1 and L minus 1. Do you guys agree with this? Because every number that is in here, in this range, it will be XOR twice. So it would not have any effects at the end. Everything between L and R will be calculated at the end. Do you guys agree with this? If you agree with this, please put a plus in the chat or use this emoji, whatever that you prefer. Why not from 0? Also, you could say from 0. It makes no change, because adding 0 as well in your XOR makes no change. So you could also say from 0. That would also work. So, and in fact, yeah, I agree that from 0 it will be a bit easier as well. But both of them works. So anyway, this is the first thing that we can say in this problem. The first thing that we can say is that we can look at it like this, and it makes most of times when we have these intervals, by doing this, everything will be simpler. We do not need to worry about both L and R. We only care about one endpoint, and we keep everything from the start to one endpoint, and then also from the start to the other endpoint, and see the answers. And if we can work with inclusive exclusive intervals and zero-based indexing, we don't have these minus ones as well. If it is inclusive exclusive interval in F, and L and R is inclusive exclusive as well, it's going to be f of 0 and R XOR f of 0 and L. The answer is going to be like that, because this is from L to R minus 1. This is going to be from 0 to R minus 1. And this is going to be from 0 to L minus 1. If it is inclusive exclusive, we can remove this minus 1 from here. So basically, we have to only calculate f of 0 and something. We have to calculate f of 0 and some R. Well, the next fact is that, first of all, we can just calculate the XOR of all the numbers from 0 to r, 0 to r minus 1, and then we can calculate the XOR of these bad numbers and XOR them once again. And then we calculate the XOR of these bad numbers that modulo 2 to the power of I, they are equal to k. We can calculate the XOR of these numbers after that and XOR them once again. And by doing that, they will be removed. Okay, so this is another thing that we can do. So first of all, the question is gonna be, how can I calculate the XOR of all the numbers from 0 to r minus 1? How can I calculate the XOR of all the numbers from 0 to r minus 1? This is our first concern, how to calculate this. And then after we calculated this, our next question is that how to calculate the XOR of all those special numbers, all those bad numbers from, by special I meant the bad numbers from 0 to r minus 1. If we can solve these two problems separately, then we XOR their answers and we're gonna have f of 0 and r. And when we have f of 0 and r, we're gonna have f of l and r. So this is the question that we have. How can we calculate the XOR of all the numbers? Again, we need another fact when we want to calculate f of 0 and r. How can we calculate it? How can we calculate the XOR of all the numbers from 0 to r? If n modulo 4 is 0, return n. If n modulo 4 is 1, return 1. Return. That's correct. That's really correct. Yes. Basically, the point is that, let me explain it to you. The main point is that if you pair the numbers, if you pair each even number with the next odd number, the point is that the XOR of these two consecutive numbers is 1. I'm pairing numbers, each consecutive numbers. The smaller one is an even, the bigger one is an odd number. So I'm taking, like, my pairs are with two numbers, like 2k and 2k plus 1. And the point is that the XOR in each group is gonna be 1. The XOR of each group is gonna be 1. Because if you take a look at it, the only place in their binary representation that they would differ is the last digits that they have. Only in the last digit that they are different. So the XOR in each group is 1. So you're gonna have some 1s. You can see that what is the last elements that you have. If it is even, you have one additional element that is gonna be out of a group. If it is odd, that is also gonna be in a group. So you have several 1s and possibly one additional elements at the end. You can easily count that how many 1s do you have. It is the floor of r divided by 2. You're gonna have the floor of r divided by 2 once. If it is odd, it XORs an additional 1. If it is even, it disappears because we have even ones. So it has nothing to do. So you can see that how many ones do you have at the end. Maybe if your last number is even, you have one additional number at the end as well that you have to XOR. So basically, this is very simple to find out. Or you can also say it like this. This is what you can say as well. Because if n modulo 4 is 0, every numbers before it are paired. Because he is considering inclusive intervals. In this case, you have n plus 1 numbers. So if n modulo 4 is 0, you have several pairs, even number of pairs. They will be XORed with each other and they will be removed. Only n will be remain and your answer is going to be n. If n modulo 4 is 1, you're going to have n and n plus 1, which is an additional 1. So your answer is going to be 1. If n modulo 4 is 2, you're going to have n plus 1. They will be XORed and they will be 1. And you have n at the end. So you have an n that will be XORed with a 1. So you will have n plus 1. N was even. And if n modulo 4 was 3, the last one, it will be the last two again make a pair and make another one with the previous one. They will be 0 and you will have 0. So basically, in another word, you can say that you can have this. So easily it can be calculated. That's what is the XOR of all the numbers that you have. We are not avoiding these ones first. We are calculating everything And then we will calculate only these bad ones that must be avoided, but they are not calculated. Then we see that what is the XOR of them, and we XOR them once again to disappear them. Is it clear so far? Exactly, yes. We'll get to it now. So far we have calculated the XOR of all the numbers from 0 to R. Now consider that we want all the bad numbers now. Now about the bad numbers, their only difference is that they have a block at their end. I mean, we know that the last I digits has some form. For example, the last I digit must be like this for them to be bad. But the previous digits again can be anything. And because we start from 0, let's call it G of 0 and R. So f of 0 and R is the XOR of everything. G of 0 and R is going to be the XOR of all the bad numbers. Well, the point is that, again, if you consider this part of the numbers, it first starts from 0, then goes to 1, then 2, and so on. So this number itself, I mean, if you just ignore everything in the last I numbers, this is itself like a number that is initially 0. You put this part at the end of a 0. Then you put these parts at the end of a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Then you put this part at the end of a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and so on. So itself in here is like you have XOR of some numbers up to some threshold. So you can say that in this part, your number should be up to something such that your total number will be at less than R. Your total number must be less than R. So you can say that this part must be at most something. It's a condition. If R modulo 2 to the power of I was greater than K, it's going to be R divided by 2 to the power of I plus 1. Otherwise, it's going to be R over 2 to the power of I. So again, you can say that it's like f of 0 and R over 2 to the power of I. And then you have to shift it by 2 to the power of I bits. And at the end of it, if you had odd numbers, if you had odd such numbers, this part must be XORed. If there are even numbers, this part will be XORed even times, and therefore it will be disappeared. So you won't XOR anything, and there will be all zeros there. So again, in calculating G, you will again use F. You will use F. You will calculate F of 0 to the last number that you can have here, so that the whole number will be at most R. And then you will shift that, and maybe you will put this number at the end or not. Let me also show you some code that helps you to understand it better. Maybe I can again show you tourist code. And this code is really the first code among my friends. So even though you are not doing it on purpose, still it makes sense to use tourist code. So I'm waiting it to load. Okay. So basically he gets L and R and I and K. He will solve R plus 1 and I and K, because it is inclusive, it's exclusive intervals. It does not include the last number. So it solves from 0 to R plus 1 minus 1, and then he solves from 0 to L minus 1 and XOR these two and says what is the answer for that. And in here, what does he say? He starts from 0 to R up to n modulo 4, R plus plus, and XOR equal to n minus n modulo 4 plus R. So basically what he's saying is that the final XOR, I mean, each 4 numbers have XOR 0. So he's only considering the last numbers. I mean, he will remove blocks of size 4, and at the end there will be n modulo 4 numbers remaining. He will just calculate the XOR of those numbers. He will only calculate the XOR of those last numbers that are not in a block of size 4. We know that every block of size 4 has XOR 0, so he will remove all those blocks. Only n modulo 4 numbers will be left at the end. He will calculate the XOR of those numbers. And then what he does is, first he says n minus equal to k plus 1. Yes. He says n minus equal to k plus 1 because he knows that at the end of this number there must be k. So I think that he's doing that in order to count that how many numbers are there for calculation. He says that n, he will shift everything to right, n plus equal to 1, if n modulo 2 equal to, yeah, okay. So yes, basically what he's doing, he says n minus equal to k plus 1. That's because that's exactly the last part that I was telling you. He wants to find out, I mean, we know that this number n, at the end of it, these numbers that we are talking about, these bad numbers, at the end of them, they must have k's. They must have a k at the end of it. I mean, the binary representation in the last I digits is equivalent to k. So basically, he will subtract k from it, and he will subtract an additional 1 as well. Because he wants that, it's like we have all zeros in here. It's like we have all zeros in here, and we know that n was 1 more than what it really was, because everything was exclusive. So he subtracts 1 additional number as well, so that now it will become exactly inclusive as well. N is really the last number that you're gonna have. And then when you shift it I times, this n is really the last number that you will have, the maximum number that you can have in here. It is gonna be the maximum number that you will have in here. So basically all the operations till here finds the maximum n that you can have in here. All the operations still here. And then he adds 1 back to it. He again adds 1 back to it. You see that in here he subtracted 1. Now he's adding 1 back, because to make it exclusive again. So just in the middle, he made it inclusive to do the calculations. Once he did the calculations, he adds 1 back to make it exclusive again. And similar to what he had in here he will calculate the XORs again, and he sees that how many numbers do you have. When he made it exclusive again, your numbers are from 0 to n minus 1. So you have exactly n numbers, and they are from 0 to n minus 1. If n modulo 2 was 1, if they are even numbers, ans must be XORed with k, because you will have an additional k. And at the end, he will return ans. And this way, the answer can be easily calculated. I hope that it made sense. I need to dry run once myself. Okay. Sure. For some reason, CF not working. That's not good. It was working for me. I don't know. That's me. It is maybe you mean the judging parts. No, but that one's working as well. Did it take for you to reach master? How much time did it take for me to reach master? It takes me. I reached master in here. It's 2016, 23rd of November. November of 2016. So I think 2 years. Around 2 years. It's January of 2015. It's around 2 years to reach master. Yeah. I see. So is it completely clear? If it is clear and you're ready to move on to problem G, please use this emoji or put a plus in the chat. I haven't read problem G yet, but if any of you guys wants, we can see what G is. I mean, I can read it with you guys and read the solution as well. Nice. I think that's okay. Okay, sure. Let's now move on to problem G then. Sure. Nice. Let me bring problem G now. It's a very long statement. I hope that we will figure it out. So, it says that the Department of Supernatural Phenomena at the Oxenford's Academy has opened a library of magic which contains the works of the greatest sorcerers of Redania. I mean, once I figured out what's the statement and the solution exists, I will start once again from the beginning, maybe. But for now, let's find out that what it says, which contains the works of the greatest sorcerers of Redania. N type of books numbered from 1 to n. Each book's type number is indicated on its spine. Moreover, each type of book is stored in the library in exactly 2 copies. And you have been appointed as the librarian. Okay, each book is stored in the library in exactly 2 copies, and you have appointed as the librarian. One night you wake up to a strange noise and see a creature leaving the building through a window. 3 thick tomes of different colors were sticking out of the mysterious thief's backpack. Before you start searching for them, you decide to compute the numbers A, B, C written on the spines of these books. All 3 numbers are distinct. So you have an ordered set of tomes, which includes 1 tome with each of the pair was distinct numbers A, B, and C, and 2 tomes for all numbers from 1 to n. Okay, except for ABC. You want to find is that is ABC. You have an order set of another tome which includes 1 tome with each of pair was distinct numbers. Okay, let's see what it says. Since you are not working in a simple library but in the library of magic, you can only use 1 spell in the form of a query to check the presence of books in their place. X or L and R bit was X or query with parameters N and R. Let K be the number of such tomes in the library whose numbers are greater than or equal to L and less than or equal to R. You will receive the result of computation V1 XOR V2 to VK, where V1 to VK are the numbers on the spines of these tomes, and XOR denotes the bitwise XOR. Okay. Greater than 3 XOR problems in this contest. Yeah. Do you know I showed speed? No, I don't know. Interactive problems, sometimes they're interesting. I mean, it really depends. So you have 2 occurrences of each number from 1 to n, except 3 of them. Okay. You have to find these 3 values by making range queries where all the occurrences of the numbers in the range will be okay. Okay, I got it. I got it now. Do you support Iran or Israel? What a question. I mean, Mohammed Said, where are you from? Mohammed Said. Hi, DevOps. Where are you from? Are you from Iran? I don't think you're from Iran because the way that you have wrote Mohammed. In Iran, usually people write Mohammed with A. That's E. Muhammad, they write. But what do you support? Do you support? I mean, it's very political to talk about. So basically, we have XOR of some interval each time, and we see that what that XOR is. And we want to find those 3 numbers. Okay, I think I got the problem. Thank you very much for explanation in here, Luciano, as well. That helps really. So let's see the tourist code. This time Jiangli's code is shorter, it seems, than tourist, but let's use tourist codes again. Let's see what he has done. So he get n, ask L and R if found return 0, R minus minus L equal to max of L and 1, R is equal to minimum of R and N. N, what is N exactly? N is the number of books that we have. I mean, because N must be always odd. Shouldn't N always be odd? Do you know I show speed? No, I don't know. Well, it's not very of course. Well, to be honest, we don't, we're not happy about the situation that we have. I mean, we're not really supporting any parts. I mean, about the situation in Iran and Israel, we're not supporting any parts of these arguments, any side. Basically, we want it to be fixed and we want to be peace there. We don't want any of the sides to do anything. That's what Iranians feel about it. Most of them. I honestly tried divide and conquer, but it seems it exceeded Curie's limits. I see. If I understood it correctly, N shouldn't be always even. N shouldn't be always odd, because as you said, you have everything except 3. I mean, from every book you have 2 of them, but for these 3 books you have only 1 of them, right? Because you need, if, okay, N is, so in total you have 2n minus 3 books, or N is the number of type of books. Okay, so the number of books is 2n minus 3, right? So why the queries are up to N? Why R is up to N? Shouldn't R be up to 2n minus 3 then? The answer is other. And the interactor is not adaptive. That might be useful as well. Might be. You will receive the result. Oh. Let K be the number of such terms in the library whose numbers are greater than or equal to L and less than or equal to R. You will receive, okay, you will receive the result of, okay. Look at the first example. Okay, yes, you're right. In the first set, the books in the library after the theft look like this: 4 1 2 6 3 4 1 5 6. You will receive 1x or 1 equal to 0 2 times satisfy the condition set. Your result is the result as 2 as the only one. Four x or 6, x or 4, x or 5, x or 6, which is 5. In the second test, there are only 3 types of languages. how the missing ones have numbers 1, 2, and 3? Isn't it 2, 3, and 5? Because you have 1, 5, 1, 2, and 1, 3. The rest of them are, you have 2 of them. Oh, it's the, okay, no, it's the first test case. Yeah, makes sense. 2, 3, 5 is the answer, yeah. Okay, so it will have a, okay. So from L to R, he will see all the books that their number is from L to R, and he takes the XOR of all of them. Yeah, the order does not matter, yes. The order does not matter. He will take the XOR from L to R of everything that is from, their number is from L to R. So basically the ones that you have 2 of them will be disappeared. So you see that in this range, how many, okay, the XOR of, so basically when you get the XOR of an interval, you get the XOR of those numbers out of your 3 numbers that are in that interval. So you see in XOR of the ones that are in the range from L to R among those 3 numbers that are missing. So yes, he's getting L and R and returns what he gets. Check says that if A is from 1 to N, B is from 1 to N, and C is from 1 to N, if A not equal to B, A not equal to C, A, B not equal to C, ask A and A plus 1 is A, ask B and B plus 1, okay? C out and return true. So checks if A, B, C works, basically. How many questions you can ask? You can make up to 150 queries. 150. Okay. Try X, Y prefix bits. So try assert Y not equal to 0 for B equal to bits minus 1, B greater than or equal to 0, B minus minus. You have 2 to the power of B, and you ask from prefix to prefix plus C. If Q was 0, prefix plus equal to C, because it means that you have no number there. If Q not equal to Y, check X starting from, oh, your number is Q and, okay. We check X and Q and Y XOR here. So I think that Y is the XOR of the whole interval, and he wants to find an interval that has another XOR. Initially, he gets the XOR of all the numbers. He goes from 59 to 0. Each time he calculates this, and he see that what is the XOR in here, what is the XOR in here. If total was equal to 0, if X not equal to 0 and then Y not equal to 0, try X, Y, prefix plus C, and bits. Okay, now I'm getting an idea what it's doing. Assert found, break. Else, if X was 0, assert Y equal to total, prefix plus equal to C. If Y was 0, assert X is going to be equal total. Yeah, basically it's doing some sort of binary search. X, Y, prefix plus C. Okay, I found it. I figured out what this problem is doing. I mean, what this solution is doing. It's some sort of a binary search. So basically what he's doing is that he first calculates the XOR of all the element. I mean, the XOR of these three numbers, and he tries to do some prefix. I mean, he tries to find a point where the XOR is not equal to what we have outside. And the point is that the XOR of these three numbers is not equal to any one of them. The XOR of three distinct numbers is never equal to one of these three numbers. That's the important thing as well. So let me explain it from the beginning. So, okay, problem G, library of magic. Okay, this is an interactive problem. The Department of Supernatural Phenomena at the Oxenford Academy has opened the library of magic, which contains the work of the greatest sorcerers of Redania, n type of books numbered from 1 to n. Each book's type number is indicated on its spine. Moreover, each book is stored in the library, exactly 2 copies, and you have appointed as the librarian. We know that for three numbers, they are out. I mean, they are not in here. So for three books, three numbers, you have one book of those three numbers. For the rest of them, you have two. And each time you can print L and R, you can give some L and R, and it will give you what is the XOR of all the books such that their numbers is between L and R. With 150 queries, you want to find out what are those three missing books. Well, the point is that in this problem, first of all, if we calculate the XOR from 1 to n, if we find out what is the XOR of all the numbers from 1 to n, you will find this way, you will find the XOR of those missing numbers. Because only for those missing numbers, they will be counted once, the rest of them will be counted twice, and they will not be considered, they will disappear. So only for these three numbers, you will see that what is their XOR initially. And there's an important thing, is that the XOR of three numbers, I mean, because you only have three numbers, the XOR of these three is not equal to one of them. Because if it is equal to one of them, it means that the XOR of the other two is 0, which is not possible because those two are not equal. So the point is that the XOR of the three of them is not equal to XOR of any two of them, and it's not equal to the XOR of, each one of them. It's not equal to any one of them. So all these numbers are different. The XOR of the three of them, one of them, two of them, 0 of them. So if XOR of something is 0, definitely it has none of the numbers, except maybe all the three numbers. The only cases, the only subsets that might give you the same answer is 3 and 0. If you choose all three, the XOR of all these three and the XOR of 0 of them. That's the only case that might be equal. But if you choose three numbers and XOR them, or you choose two numbers and XOR them, or you choose one number and only consider that number, these numbers are all different. All of these numbers are different. So that's an important thing. The point is that you first see. So you first see that what is the XOR of all the numbers. If you take a look at this code by Tourist, he's seeing that what is the XOR of all the numbers. All those three numbers. And he considers two cases. If total is 0, if the XOR of those three numbers is 0, because as I said, this is the special case that it might be equal to the case where we have no numbers in the range. The XOR of all the numbers is equal to XOR of no numbers. So as I said, in each range, there must be three numbers. There might be three numbers, two numbers, one numbers, and 0 numbers. And the point is that all of them are different. Any subset of size 3 is different to any subset of size 2, and it's different to any subset of size 1. All these numbers are different. The only two things that might be equal is if you choose all of them with this 0. If there's nothing in there, or when you calculate the XOR of 3 of them, that XOR is 0. So that's why he considers this case separately. If total is not 0, it means that all the XORs are different. Basically, whenever you take the XOR of some range, if they have two different sets in them, definitely their XOR will be different as well. So if it is not, let's first consider the other case where the total is not 0. If the total is not 0, he can do a binary search. He starts from the greatest bit and each time makes it bit smaller and starts with this prefix. And he has his prefix starts from 0 at the beginning. Each time he will see from prefix to prefix plus C. If the XOR was 0 to there, this means that we have nothing in this range. We have nothing in this range. And we know that the XOR of everything is not 0 as well. So it means that we have nothing in this range. We add C to the prefix because we have to search in the rest of the numbers. Otherwise, if it is not 0, if y is equal to 0, definitely x must be equal to total. So definitely we should only care about everything from this prefix to prefix plus C. So the rest of the numbers will be ignored. So the point is that we will not move prefix. The only thing is that next time bit will be subtracted by 1 and we are considering this new range. Otherwise, if both of them, x is not 0 and y is not 0, the point is that at some point we reach to this else. At some point we reach to this point where x and y are not, both of them are not 0. At some point we see that we reach somewhere that 1 or 2 number will be to the left of that line and 1 or 2 number will be to the right of that line. He will try these numbers. He will try these two, x and y and prefix plus C and bits, and y and x and prefix and bit. What does it do? It means that either this x is XOR of 2 numbers and that y is 1 number, or vice versa. This x is 1 number and that y is 2 numbers. He will test both of them. And in his testings, he also, again, he will do that binary search again in one of these 2 parts, and he sees that where is the first part that these 2 numbers will be separated. That's basically all he does. I mean, it's again that binary search to find what the number are, and once he could split them, he will check these numbers, and once he checked the numbers, I mean, if they were working, he will output them as the answer. So the main idea is that these 3 numbers, they will be splitted from each other at some point. And when they will be splitted, one side has 2 numbers. He will then focus on finding that side with 2 numbers and split the 2 numbers that in that side. And this way he will find the answer at the end. And if total was 0 as well, again, these 2 numbers will be splitted at some point. We must reach a point where x is not 0 and y is not 0. We must reach a point where x and y are both not equal to 0. And when we reach that point, we will try again if this part has 2 numbers or the other part has 2 numbers. And this is how this problem G will be solved. Does it make sense? If it makes sense, please put a plus or use this emoji. I mean, as I said, Aditya, you can put your question in Telegram channel. Please put it in Telegram channel and we will talk about it then. We can talk about it there. So if it is okay, please, you can both put in Telegram channel or in Discord server, and that would be discussed there, if possible. About problem D, I have explained it. You can just watch it in here. I mean, if you move it here, I think I explained D in here. Please take a look at it, and if there was any issue, let me know. I mean, in Discord or Telegram, you can let me know if there was any issue with that problem. Because right now there are some, other people. I think it's better if I don't go through that again for everyone. But if you personally have some issues, you can always tell me in Discord or Telegram about it. Especially in Telegram. I check Telegram more often than the Discord channel. I just with DQ, what is your job? Well, I do many things. Basically, I can talk about it with you. I'm learning many different things and doing many things. I do a PhD degree right now, and at the same time I'm learning several things about the projects, about startups, about industry coding, software engineering, etc. Also, I'm just having this YouTube channel. It's something that is interesting for me personally. How did you move to the US? I just applied for PhD in here. I'm doing computer science. I just use DQ in D and remove the top layer each time. Yeah, that would also work, yeah. That would also work. Sean, why I'm so dumb, bro? I feel jealous watching. I mean, that's completely okay. I mean, it takes time to grow in competitive programming. That's completely okay. I personally, I registered in Codeforces 10 years ago. So definitely it takes some time. I mean, even if you look at my charts, I mean, it took me around 2 or 3 years to reach Grandmaster. Around 2.5 years. If you take a look at it, it took around 2.5 years for me to reach Grandmaster. But if you, for example, expect to reach there in a few months or so, that wouldn't happen. So that's completely okay. I mean, don't take hard on yourself. That's completely okay that if it takes time from you. When are you interviewing tourists? I have not continued interviewing for some time, but I think that it's time to start interviewing again. I'm not if you guys feel like you like the interviews, I can continue doing the interviews. It's been a time that I didn't continue the interviews. I'm master student in CS in Egypt. Nice. Good for you. Do you like CS? Thanks for explaining the general idea for G. It is an interesting example of another way of using binary search to search for data. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I hope that it works for you. What's your age? Yeah, I recently got to 25. I mean, you can try. You can definitely try. You can try applying for master degree in the US. You can see what happens. Most of the people that I know, when they came here, they applied for a PhD, not for master. Most of the people I know, the graduate students, applied for PhD. But there are some people who study master degree as well. So you can try both and see what happens. Yeah, I'm 25. Should we ever decide to stop doing contests and just focus on solving? No, I don't really recommend that. I really recommend you to participate in contests as well. Participating in contests is the most important way of training. I mean, that helps you the most, participating in CF contests. So I definitely encourage you to participate in CF contests. Many of the CP competitors start at early age. I wish I know about these things there. Yes, but also you can start at later ages as well. I also know people who started later. I mean, but yes, if you start at a younger age, it's easier to grow, definitely, because when you are younger, you don't have many issues, many things to do, etc. For example, when you are university students, there are so many things that you need to handle, so many other occupations that you have. It would be a bit harder, but that is still possible. You can still learn things. Definitely it's easier if you learn sooner at a younger age, but many people started at later ages as well. I generally code in Java, but recently I started following your video, coding a solution by my own after seeing it. That's great. That is really helpful. Yeah. And I see that you are also a Real Madrid fan. So how do you feel about that? I think that Real Madrid recently doesn't have very good days. Are you guys in here fan of football or soccer? Whatever you call. I personally call it football, but here in the US people usually call it soccer. Fan of Messi. What will be the topic for this Friday's stream? I will put it in the Telegram channel. I will put a vote about it, and we decide it together. I don't decide only by myself. I always ask you guys to see what do you guys like, and then we'll decide what is gonna be The topic stream. Ankara Mezi, yeah. Yeah, I watched the video. Do you try to be LGM at Codeforces? At the moment, it's not my priority. At the moment, I have other priorities, other things to do that are more important for me. But maybe someday I try to be LGM as well. Again, back and try to become LGM. But right now, I'm not training in a very focused way on that. Okay, guys, it was great seeing you here. Hope to see you in our topic stream next time as well. If you guys want, you can watch the previous topic streams in here in this link. You are also more than welcome to join our Telegram channel or Discord server, and we can discuss further there as well. Would you consider being a quant? Yes, I consider that as well. Yeah, that's also something that I would consider. Thank you very much, Agarwal. That's awesome. I love you guys as well. It's so great to see your support. That really means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, let me see. I will send you Discord link again. This is the Discord link. Thank you guys. It was great seeing you today. See you next time. Bye.